WNBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WNBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WNBA.
It's now time for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale. The phone lines are open at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. You can also watch live on the WBVP-WNBA Facebook page. Here is your host, Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. He's ready to take your calls at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Also, make sure you check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. They do roofing replacement, windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior remodeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. Ryan, how come the music cuts out like in the middle of my little intro there? I got caught off guard there.
See, sometimes, you know what, when I'm on your side of the table, I think the same thing, but I always think to myself that the person wants it to kind of fade out and then eventually go away. Would you want it to stay?
Ryan, you do whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm just here for, I don't know what reason.
But I know what you're saying, because if I'm on that side and the radio and the music does start going down, it kind of messes with me if I'm talking. But
Right on. Welcome. It's been a week. I do have a trivia question for you to start off. 2017, June 11th. Do you know what happened?
2017, June 11th.
June 11th. Today's June 12th, 2024. So a little over 7 years ago.
Was it the second of the back-to-back Stanley Cup championships?
It was. Ding, ding, ding. The Pens beat the Predators 2-0.
Yes.
Now I got another trivia question for you. This one will be probably easy. There is two answers, so you have to get one of them correct. Two answers. What happened June 12th, 2016?
Was it the first Stanley Cup?
Well, of the back-to-back.
Yeah,
yes, the first. What was it? The fourth Stanley Cup for the Penguins?
That would have been their fourth win, yes.
So that was one of the correct answers. The Pens did beat the Sharks, but also my niece, Elizabeth Helene, was born.
All right.
June 12th, 2016, the day the Penguins won the Stanley Cup. I'd like to wish her a happy 8th birthday. I hope you're enjoying your special day, Elizabeth, a.k.a. Libs.
Awesome. Happy birthday.
Yeah, so I've said it on the radio before that she was not even 1 year old, and she was already alive during two Penguin Stanley Cups.
You know what? Those two cups were really a lot of fun for myself, because my youngest son also was very little, and it was cool because I got to go and buy them, the hat and the shirt and everything after the cup wins. So those were a lot of fun. It would be nice if one of these Pittsburgh teams could get back on track so we could enjoy some of that again.
All right, we're going to get into all kinds of stuff today. We're going to talk about the Pirates. We're going to talk about the NBA. We're going to talk about the NHL. We're going to talk about Team USA basketball, not the men's, but the women's. But while we were on hockey here, the Penguins hired David Quinn. I'm hoping that he takes over that power play and does something with it, because it has been just atrocious.
It's such a shame. You have, arguably probably 4 Hall of Famers out there, and you can't manage. And the thing is, it isn't they're not good. They're not able to put the puck by. They don't shoot the puck. That's been a big problem ever since Crosby's been here. I think it's always been pass. At some point, one of these superstars needs to shoot the puck.
Yeah. I want to say my favorite hockey player and Penguin, Evgeny Malkin, I believe in 2009, I want to say he led with like the NHL all-time in points postseason, and nobody's beaten it since.
He was red hot back in those Stanley Cups, back in the when we lost to Detroit, of course, and then
now
the
he still plays
year.
the same way and doesn't have nearly the skill.
Right. He's been solid, though. You know what I mean? I'm glad that we had him around. And as a matter of fact, we've been to 4 Stanley Cups since him and Sid's been here. They won 3. I wouldn't have traded him away. at certain points later on, I thought to myself, we could certainly clear up some space and some money, but I'm glad we kept Malkin all these years.
My sister just texted me that my niece has Penn's stuff from the hospital. I do remember there was a Penn's onesie. I think all the kids from McGee got little Penn's onesies.
Nice.
Yeah, so the 2016 little onesie.
All right.
So there you go. Not to interrupt the show.
No,
it's sports related, right?
That is cool.
It's my family and it's sports.
And she's 8 now, like you had said, and you're always going to have those things.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think we really need to talk about your playoff contending Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's right. This team, as of right now, Brian, is in a playoff spot.
Did we not? We weren't allowed to even say their name like a month ago, right?
Yeah.
And now they're in the playoffs.
Yes. What I gotta say is this: they're currently they leapfrogged everybody, and that could change tonight. They could lose,
right?
And somebody could lose. They could fall out. But the fact of the matter is, they are sitting in the third wild card spot. We're 2 games under 500. There's literally only 4 teams in the National League that are 500 or better. If this doesn't spell a chance for a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates to at least, be in the running, I don't know what does. This division we're in is not that good. The Milwaukee Brewers, who sit at the top, I don't think that they're this great baseball team. And at the end of the day, as I said, with 66 games into the season, we're in a spot. We got to get hot at some time too, Brian. So I'm liking that. I think.
Yeah, 96 games left. If we can get on a couple, win 7 out of 10,
yes.
Just let's say 3 times out of that, out of those 90, and then go 500 the rest of the time, we should be able to get in. Let's go over this real quick. The Phillies are 46-20. The Brewers are 39-28. The Dodgers are 42-26. Those are the 3 division leaders. The Braves are 35-29. They're behind the Phillies, like everybody else. But then you have like this cluster of teams. You have the Padres, 36 wins, Giants, 33, Diamondbacks, 32, Cardinals, 31, Cubs, 32, Reds, 32, Nationals, 31, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, 32. So I don't know. That's a lot of teams you've got to be better than. You can't just be playing 500 ball like they have, because somebody's going to make some moves and get on a hot streak.
My rebuttal to that is they haven't really played great baseball to this point, Brian, and they are where they are.
I disagree.
So if the team can play, as you said, get 3 7 out of 10 wins, if you win a bunch of series, and when you start playing good baseball to where you're not sitting 2 games under 500, let's say this team is 6 7 games over 500, I'm really liking our chances then, and especially in this week National League. I think everybody that you just said, the Dodgers, the Philadelphia, Milwaukee, they're all the top. And then the Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres are the only other 2 teams that have 500 records or better. I like our chances in that kind of race.
We're like in the race with there was like the fast heat, and that's the Phillies and the Brewers. And then there's like the really, really slow heat. And we're like a leader in the slow heat.
However, I do like this team's chances if they would get into the playoffs. If you play a best of 5 and the other team has to face Paul Skeens and Jared Jones and Mitch Keller, those kind of series, I think, really plays to the Pirates' favor, and they could really be a spoiler. Do I think this team could win a World Series? I don't. I don't think they have what it takes offensively, but I think that they could get into the playoffs and cause a little bit of trouble.
I think 1979 is the last time the Pirates won a series.
Yes.
I think I agree with you. If they were to somehow get in the playoffs, somehow win the little 2 out of 3 play-in, I mean, you got Jones, Skeens, and Keller to pitch those 3 games. I like your odds to win 2 of them,
absolutely,
regardless of the bats.
Absolutely, and if you could sneak through, baseball games are usually spaced as such. It's pretty rapid. However, there is a day off in between series, so you do start your Skeens, Jones, and Keller, and get a day off in between before you go to the next series. One of these guys can be back on the bump the very next night. I like that.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Paul Skeens and his performance yesterday.
Yeah.
It was so good, Ryan, that when he left the field in St. Louis, he got a standing ovation by the opposing team.
Yeah.
That's the respect that he's getting around Major League Baseball.
You got to like it, and you got to say to yourself, we got one, guys. We got one. We got Mario Lemieux. We got, only so many of these players come down through time. And we have one, so I say we got to take full advantage, make the moves that we need to make during the season, and try to make the team better. Because when 4 or 5 seasons from now, there's going to be people just trying to pry him from our hands. New York, the Yankees, of course, the Astros, teams like this. So we got to take advantage because we got a beast. We have a beast on our team.
Well, I don't think I've ever been wrong ever in my life.
I don't think you have either.
Except for this one time. I said you need to get the everyday player and take Dylan Cruz. I said, I love the pitcher. I get it. I understand that. But the Dylan Cruz watch, he's batting .261 in Double-A with 4 home runs. Paul Skeens is out there striking out the best of the best. Ohtani, you name them. He's striking them out. I was wrong.
And also Henry Davis, who's having a lot of trouble in the majors. He went down to Triple-A and was able to, the highest A. Then he was able to he hit 4 home runs in 12 games. So that kind of gives you an idea. But Brian, I always say this: you got to go after the pitcher. If you don't get your pitcher, you don't get your quarterback. You're not putting yourself in the best position to win.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got to get the pitcher because you can always find that like Freddie Sanchez. It's going to bat 3-something one season here or there. Somebody's going to come out of nowhere. But an arm is an arm is an arm.
Absolutely.
And Paul Skeens, his mustache, he's got it all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 6'6". He just the splinker. Yeah. The splinker. It just sounds good.
He's got a mustache, a splinker, and Livy Dunn. Where's this guy gone wrong ever in its life?
Yes, that is the gold, the silver, and the bronze all in one race. Yes. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Somebody has to make the all-star team from every team.
Yeah.
I'm going with Mitch Keller. He has 8 wins. If he gets 2 more, it's a lock because you're set for 20-win season. I mean, that's unheard of, especially for a mediocre team.
Yeah.
So I would think that he would be automatic. But I would also like to bet that if Paul Skeens continues doing what he does, maybe picks up 2 more wins, he will also get the nod. And you could more than likely at least get to see them throw like a batter or 3 batters or something in the All-Star game.
And another thing you got to remember, too, everybody that's listening today, you could all go online and vote, which means fans vote. And if, like you had said, the respect is out there and the people want to see Paul Skeens, he might just get voted in by
absolutely
people outside of our.
You know who didn't get voted in? Caitlin Clark.
Oh.
And I know we're changing subjects here, but I just want to touch on this for a second.
Right.
The women's team playing over in Paris for the Olympics left the most popular player of all time off of their team.
Yeah.
They have all kinds of excuses. They came up with this. They came up with that. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think Caitlin Clark's all that she's cracked up to be. Obviously, I have some reservations about her. But the crowd she's drawing. In 1992, Ryan, Larry Bird was not 1986 Larry Bird. He had that. He built it his mom like some, I don't know, porch or something. And he like messed up his back for like ever. And he was not the same player. But there's no way you leave Larry Bird off that 92 Olympic team because there's Magic and Bird, and the only one more popular than those two was Michael Jordan.
Absolutely.
So you needed all 3 of those guys to be on the team. Isaiah Thomas probably deserved to be on there, but nobody liked him. Do you think
Isaiah Thomas certainly deserved to be there, yeah.
Do you think that maybe the girls in the WNBA don't like Caitlin Clark?
You think? Let me start off by saying this. One of the main names that is on this USA team, one of the best players that ever played in the WNBA, not a big fan of her, but Diana Taurasi.
I think she's like twice as old as we are.
She is. But check this out. This season, so if you want to say the performance is what they go by, Caitlin Clark has a 16.8 score, points per game.
Yes.
Diana Taurasi has 16.3. She also has more assists, 5 more assists a game, 1.5 steals more than Taurasi. The whole way down the list. As a matter of fact, the only thing that Diana Taurasi leads Caitlin Clark in overall statistics is 3-point percentage. Field goal percentage, Caitlin Clark has. Free throw percentage, field goal, blocks, steals, assists. The whole way down the list this season so far, Caitlin Clark is outperforming Diana Taurasi.
And I don't remember how many games she played, but I know it's only been like a couple. But that Bob Griner, that dude, the girl that was over in Russia, Brittany Griner.
Oh, yeah.
She hasn't even played this year, and she's on the team. And the only reason I know who she is because she got in trouble.
Yeah.
And, Joe Biden did some swap with Russia or something. That's the only reason I know who she is. But she hasn't even played this season, and she's on the team.
I had a place in my heart for her. I liked Brittany Griner. The one thing that I don't like, her hair is too short now. I like the long hair on Brittany Griner. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Is it hair or is it just a weave?
No, you know what? I'm not sure, but the real short hair now kind of looks like something that my grandma would have, been rocking back in the day. But I did like Brittany Griner, and you know what? I have no problem with her. But as you said, I think that there's other. I think it's obvious that there's other reasons and agendas and things like that why she's not on this team.
Well, we'll get into that, and we'll get into some more. We do have to go to break here for a couple minutes. So you guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM. We'll be right back to One Man's Opinion on Sports.
Beaver County Radio, your hometown radio station. You are listening live from the Fry Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation, proud to call Beaver County home.
Hey, can you imagine trying to hit a fastball or throwing a runner out at home? It's hard to think of doing these things under perfect circumstances, let alone with the distraction and discomfort of dental issues. Regular dental care from Dr. C. Timothy Lip can improve your productivity, happiness, and focus, even if you're not in the big leagues. Dental problems affect more than just your teeth. Visit lipdentistry.com or Dr. C. Timothy Lip Family Dental Offices on College Hill and Robinson Township.
Whether it's Little League or the big leagues, it's time to get out and play ball. Friendly Federal Credit Union reminds you that every team looks forward to playing at home in front of a live crowd. Seeing loyal fans can help any player feel more comfortable. Just like a home game in baseball, Friendly Federal Credit Union always has friendly faces to help and cheer you on at the teller window. Now get out of that dugout and in front of your cheering section, the personal live tellers at Friendly Federal Credit Union.
Start your day with breakfast at McDonald's. Enjoy their 2 for $5 sausage egg McMuffin. Whether you're on your way to work or on your way to school, McDonald's has the right breakfast for you. McDonald's breakfast. I'm loving it.
This is Andy Toole, men's basketball coach at Robert Morris University, here to talk about my friends at Falcone Moon Township Ford. I know what it takes to win a basketball game. It begins with practice and a team of players who want to win. The same is true of the team at Moon Township Ford. Professionals who will win you over. They'll find the best rate and terms on a car loan to help you get the best deal. Make a fast break and avoid the roadblocks that stop you from finding the car you want. Go where I go. Moon Township Ford.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garrett-Zunas. He's ready to take your calls at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Also, make sure you check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. They do roofing, replacement windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior remodeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008.
Was that better?
That was much better, I think. I don't know. Who knows?
I thought it sounded better.
Yes. Yeah, because like it just like midway through, just it went blank, and I was like, huh. I feel like I'm like all alone now. No listeners. All right. Before the break, we were talking about Paul Skeens, my niece's birthday, Caitlin Clark being left off of the Team USA.
Let me ask you point blank,
yes.
Brian, point blank, one man's opinion. What's your opinion? Does Caitlin Clark belong on this team or no? For one reason or not, I don't measure.
I will give you all my reasons.
I don't. That's the thing. I kind of already know, but I just right off the top, when it's all said and done, does this woman deserve to be on this team? Should she be going to play in the Olympics?
1,000,000%. There's never been another player since Michael Jordan that deserved to be on an Olympic team because of the attention she's bringing to the sport.
Yeah.
I don't care about her 70 turnovers that she has this year.
Right.
Which is by far leading the WNBA.
Which I highly doubt these international players are going to be guarding her the way that she's been being guarded so far since being in the WNBA.
They're going to win no matter what 12 girls. I think
right.
it's 12. Whatever 12 they take over, I don't care. You get mediocre WNBA players, they're going to win. So, but to grow the sport, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson took the sport of basketball and made it a national sensation. Wilt Chamberlain was great, but he didn't do that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was great, but he didn't do that. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did. Then they hand it to Michael Jeffrey Jordan, and he makes it an international game. And now you see 30% of the NBA is international players.
Absolutely.
If the WNBA wants to grow, one, they need to get rid of those stupid nicknames that they have for every team.
You're not a fan of that.
No. But two, they need to promote Caitlin Clark. The WNBA got it wrong by not rigging it so that a major market got Caitlin Clark to start.
Yeah.
She should have been playing for New York. I don't care what you do. You rig it somehow. You make the Indiana Fever. You give them millions of dollars to trade to one of the major cities. I don't care how you do it. And you market her and you grow the sport. So they messed it up right there. Now the international, whoever this board is, messed it up. The only thing that people can hope for is that somebody gets hurt and can't play that's on the team, and they're forced to put her on.
Right.
Not even that she's the next person there. It's just the backlash they've got.
And also, Brian, I mean, for starters, I tried to come out the other day, I think maybe on my show or your show, and I had made a point to say, I don't think she is a great all-around basketball player. That's definitely not my opinion.
She's slow.
She has there's a lot of things that she needs to work on, of course. But the fact of the matter is that she has scored more baskets in college than any player that's ever played in this country. That alone says that she is good enough to be on the USA basketball team.
Formerly Beaver County's own Pistol Pete had the record, and she did not only beat all of the women, but all of the men as well.
That tells me that she's certainly good enough to go on as the last person, as Christian Laettner did back on the 92 Dream Team.
So in 1995, that was my senior year basketball, and we would go to away games. For some reason, I looked like Christian Laettner, like the 1 foot shorter Christian Laettner.
Right.
And the other teams would all chant Laettner, as I was doing warm-ups, or every time I had the ball, I heard Laettner every away game.
Yeah. At least you didn't look like Bill Laimbeer, right?
Yeah, I'll take Laettner. I mean, he's not a bad-looking guy.
Right.
You know what? My girl, Christy Sides, that is the Indiana Fever head coach, she benched Caitlin Clark and the other starters the other night.
Did she really? Well,
you know why?
No.
I would like to read the quote from my girl, Christy. I'm going to start with, you can't at this level coach effort. I feel like we are just asking them to keep playing hard. You can't play in this league if you have to coach effort. My biggest thing about Caitlin Clark, she's disinterested on defense. She really just wants the ball in her hand. She really needs to have the ball in her hand. And on defense...
In professional basketball, you got to be crazy.
That's like Luka Doncic, LeBron James, you name it. Like, there's no tennis Rodman that just... I'll do whatever it takes to win. I'll dive. I'll fight for every rebound. I don't really want the ball.
Yeah, you don't see too much. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, if there are people like that in the WNBA, I'm unaware. But this league definitely needs personality. I thought this league was going to get personality from this class of rookies. Your Angel Reese,
Cameron Brink.
Absolutely.
Cameron Brink. She's like 6'4". She looks like a model.
Yeah.
This blonde girl. She plays for the LA Sparkles, and I think she's leading the lead in blocks.
That's what I'm saying. You have to really market these, especially this class of girls. Women. I'm sorry. You may never get a class like this again. The league's been around since 1996, and since that early your Cheryl Swoops, your Tarazi, Rebecca Lobo. I mean, the group of them. Have you really seen a group of women come into the WNBA that's as notable and recognizable as this group of women that just came up this year, Brian?
I can guarantee at no point ever on Beaver County Radio did anyone ever talk about the WNBA until now. So, yes,
I can believe that.
They've got to take advantage of this. They have to, or 2 years from now, we'll remember Caitlin Clark, and we're going to be like, that other girl, and we're going to forget who they are.
Yeah.
So I think the WNBA's just messing everything up, and this board that selected the international USA Team USA, I guess is what it's called. They're just messing it up.
And if they don't fix this problem, Brian, it's not going to come back on Caitlin Clark at all. It's going to come back on the league. It's going to speak volumes about the people that run this league, because what Caitlin Clark's making now compared to what she could make for, let's just say, for an example, by going and playing for the Big Three, Ice Cube's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's not the pros. It's not in the sense it's not the WNBA, but she could go over there and make 5 times the amount of money in 1 year that she's making here. Guess what? She's gonna laugh the whole way through this process. She's gonna walk out of this the winner once again, and the WNBA is going to fail because they, again, for ridiculous reasons, are making bad decisions.
The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark does not need the WNBA.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's move along here. What do we have? Like 5 minutes left. Let's get through this. Switching to Steelers.
All right. We could do that.
Couple minutes on this. Mike Tomlin gets a 3-year extension.
Yes.
I've heard it's worth about $20 million a year.
Oh, wow.
So that puts him for the next 4 seasons through the 2027 season at around $20 million a year. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money for somebody that has not coached a team to a playoff win in the NFL since 2016. At the end of the day, I had said this is something else that I had noted on my show, that he's, okay, they say that he's like the regular season, we're the regular season champions because we've never went under 500 or finished the season under 500 with him at the head coaching position. But at the end of the day, we're not really, because we're finishing the season with a 9-8 record, 10-7 record. I think if you're a team that consistently wins in the regular season, you're winning 14 games sometimes. You're winning 15 games sometimes. What is it that Tomlin's doing really well? Nothing. I don't see what he is doing really well. Yes, this team hasn't fell under the 500 line, but what is it that these teams do really well under Coach Tomlin?
Well, they give up 40-plus points in the playoffs very, very well.
Yeah.
I mean,
consistently.
They are spending all this money on defense. The rest of the NFL, if you don't have Patrick Mahomes, you're getting the next best thing, okay? And you're getting these fast receivers, and you're getting these offensive linemen, and you're high-flying hybrid offense. And the Steelers are like, well, let's spend all of our money on defense because defense matters, and it doesn't. I mean, you got to have a solid defense. The Chiefs' defense was good last year, but I think they were they spent the least amount of money out of anybody.
They did.
And, it's just he wants to reinvent the wheel. Now, we have a few minutes left. During Mike Tomlin's 17-year career here, he's never had a losing season. We hear that all the time. How many times has he won a challenge? $20 million. The dude can't hire somebody to tell him when to challenge or not. Like, it's absolutely absurd. He's so stubborn. It's just mind-boggling to me. And the stubbornness is on this whole defense thing too.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, Brian, that it is an offensive league. It is a passing league. There was times that you could win the Super Bowl with the defense. There was, of course, the great Chicago teams, Tampa Bay in the early 2000s, even the Baltimore Ravens. Right now is not that time. If you do get a really good defense, you still got to figure ways to produce points. And it's going to be interesting. I think that we made improvements, and I think we are going to be better this year. But this is certainly a passing league.
We don't have anybody to throw the ball to. We have one guy. We literally have one guy who's probably a number 2.
Right.
Maybe he could be a number 1, but he's being forced into that role. We didn't draft a guy in the first round. We didn't draft a guy in the second round. We drafted a guy in the third round, and he's supposed to be our number 2.
Right.
I mean, maybe he will be, but you can't count on that.
I do know this. I do know that we're still currently actively pursuing Brandon Ayuk. I'm still not past the possibility.
How can we afford Ayuk when we've got to pay?
We got to get Cam out of there.
Cam Hayward. Listen, if you guys ever watch the Two Dumb Yinzers YouTube, it is absolutely a fantastic show. Ryan does a great job on there. But he has this theory that Cam Hayward basically collects tackles by falling on the pile at the end of plays. And it's a very accurate statement.
When was the last time you seen Cam Hayward put his head down and make a grown man tackle?
Like throw the center out of the way and go and tackle the running back in the backfield. No, it's like 5 yards, 7 yards down the field, and somebody's already starting to tackle him, and then he's there to collect a half a tackle.
Think of what your other guys around the league that play that same position look like. What's the guy that just got drafted by Georgia for Philadelphia last year, Carter? Look what these guys are doing. They're causing so much disruption on the line. They're making it difficult. Cam Hayward doesn't do that anymore.
Casey Hampton made a career for so many linebackers because he demanded a double team.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's 9 versus 10, not 11 versus 11, if you can do that. And Cam, at one point in time, I think he was a solid player, borderline Hall of Famer, but at his age, he was hurt last year. He's too much money. Too much money.
Absolutely. Too much money, not enough production. And as you said, at this age, he just don't know. Last year, he went out with that the groin. I think it was a groin or something along that line, and he was out for quite a period of time. And I even at one point last year said to myself, you know what, he might not come back just because of his age.
Well, that's what he's taking to social media and whatever, and he's being like a big drama queen all of a sudden now. He's supposed to be this big tough guy, and he's out there like, I tried so hard to come back, and you fans just don't appreciate me. Quit whining and just play.
I agree.
If you're gonna be getting that much money, prove Ryan and myself wrong next season and play to that quality. Make us look stupid.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to talk about some more sports when we come back. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 and 1230 AM.
Beaver County Boom is happening June the 29th, and Beaver County Radio is the place to listen for all the coverage. Falcone's Moon Township Ford will present a live broadcast on Beaver County Radio from the VIP headquarters at Mario's 410 Grill from 6 until the choreographed fireworks and music get underway at 9:45. Take your radio along to listen or download our free apps on your mobile device, as Beaver County Radio is your exclusive place to hear the soundtrack to the fireworks. The Falcone's Moon Township Ford Beaver County Boom broadcast sponsors include Friendly Federal Credit Union, Tri-County McDonald's, the Hopewell Shopping Center, Electric Garage Door Sales, the Community College of Beaver County Radio, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. The 2024 Beaver County Boom broadcast is being presented by Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
This is Andy Toole, men's basketball coach at Robert Morris University, here to talk about my friends at Falcone Moon Township Ford. I know what it takes to win a basketball game. It begins with practice and a team of players who want to win. The same is true of the team at Moon Township Ford. Professionals who will win you over. They'll find the best rate and terms on a car loan to help you get the best deal. Make a fast break and avoid the roadblocks that stop you from finding the car you want. Go where I go. Moon Township Ford.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Whether it's Little League or the big leagues, it's time to get out and play ball. Friendly Federal Credit Union reminds you that every team looks forward to playing at home in front of a live crowd. Seeing loyal fans can help any player feel more comfortable. Just like a home game in baseball, Friendly Federal Credit Union always has friendly faces to help and cheer you on at the teller window. Now get out of that dugout and in front of your cheering section, the personal live tellers at Friendly Federal Credit Union.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the same part of his studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. He's ready to take your calls at 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. Also, make sure you check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. They do roofing, replacement windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior modeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. Last segment, Ryan, we were talking about the Mike Tomlin extension, and there was a point I did want to make. Who plays left tackle for the Steelers?
Offensively?
Yes.
Good. That's a good question.
Dan Moore Jr.
Yeah.
Right? And then who plays right tackle for the Steelers?
Who is it now? I don't.
Fatano.
Is it? Okay.
And then who's the best tackle on the team that goes back and forth between right and left tackle for some unknown reason? Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
I think he mismanaged this like no other.
Yeah.
I don't understand how one of the worst tackles is going to start again.
The Dan Moore Jr. thing, really, and don't get me wrong, I don't think he's terrible. I'm just not a huge fan, but I don't know how this is working where he ends up at left tackle. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Well, we do have a caller. Caller, is it Ralph?
It is. How are you guys?
What's shaking,
What's
Ralph?
going on?
Ralph Williams, how you doing?
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man. How are you? How's everybody?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Good, man.
That's good. That's good. I see you guys were talking about my buddy, Mediocre Mike, huh?
Yes. What are your thoughts about the extension?
Well, I saw it coming. I have experts and that I know, and I have sources. I'm not going to go there here, but anyway, that told me that this was going to happen, and I knew it was going to happen. And the thing that gets me here is everyone's saying that he could coach till he's 65 or whatever. Look, I got under really good source. This is his last contract. He's going to go to 20 years or whatever, and he's done, Mike Tomlin, okay? He's done. So he's 52 now. His kids are getting grown. I'm hearing that he possibly may want to step away. Grandkids are coming, that kind of thing. He may want to move on to something else or maybe even some other kind of coaching job or whatever. I don't know. But I do know from the good sources that I have, they told me that this is his last contract.
Yeah, I heard actually on a show today, I don't want to give any props to this guy because I think it's absolutely just a disgusting mess to watch his show. He doesn't even have sleeves on. But they were saying that they had heard that Tomlin might have wanted to go into TV, so I don't know if that might be an option here after this contract.
Well, he you know what, you do know my friend Smoking Jim Frazier used to work for the Steelers. He's been a scout for 37 years in his life. He's a freelance scout right now. He knows Mike Tomlin better than anybody. He told me Mike Tomlin is greedy. He'll probably stay coaching because he really doesn't want to. He even told him at one time where he heard it down at the office, Mike Tomlin said one time when they asked him, they said, if you were to coach 20 or 30 years, would you get into TV? And he said, I don't want nothing to do with TV.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
there you go.
Is that the same Jim Frazier that always has a beautiful woman around each arm?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it is. Frank. I'm trying to be careful with my words here today. So
Yeah, Smoking Jim.
I don't want a certain individual getting angry with you or anybody. So I don't want to cause any problems.
All right. You're good. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I do want to add something. We're talking about I want to talk about here with you guys about the defensive line. See, everybody seems to put that in the back burner. This defensive line for the Steelers is suspect this year. The best they got is Okunjobi, and even if Cam Hayward comes back, you got two aging veterans that are injury prone. And then you got backups that stink. You got that DeMarvin Lewell, he's horrible. You got Loudermilk, he's 50-50. And then you have, the guy they drafted in the draft, Logan Lee. And then they have a few other people, back there, at defensive tackle. Keanu Benton's about the only one that's any good. So, I mean, that's suspect. And they didn't really address that too much in the draft or in free agency. And I think that that's going to be their Achilles heel this year, unless Omar Khan has something up his sleeve and we don't know about it. So,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, they've been terrible on the run, and the fact that I'm not the biggest TJ Watt fan because he likes to do the outside move, which opens up the run. So if you don't have somebody big taking up some linemen, I mean, they're just going to get run on over and over again this year.
Well, that's why they get run on, Brian, and Ryan, look what happened. Look what's going on here with this defensive line. And then you got Cam Hayward, who you don't know, might hold out. He might say, hey, look, I'm not coming to training camp. I'm not coming to, he's acting like a nice guy now, but you don't know. I mean, he didn't show up for OTAs. That's something that, is suspect. And then here's another thing, too. Najee Harris, all of a sudden, I talked to, I'm friends with Ray Fittipaldo of the Post-Gazette, and
he does great work.
He told me that Najee Harris purposely took the day off because he didn't want to deal with the media. So,
he's missed 2 out of 3 days. I didn't know what it was.
Released that he took a personal day. Well, no, he took off because he didn't want to deal with the media. So
Well, I'm sure he's disgruntled.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
Oh, I'm sure he's disgruntled.
Oh, yeah, absolutely he is. Yeah, because they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. You know how the Steelers treat running backs, guys. Look at what they did to Willie Parker. Tomlin's always, we're going to run him until the wheels fall off. Yeah, the wheels fall off. All right, you ruined Willie Parker's career by running him off.
What do you think's a bigger? What do you think's a bigger problem, Ralph? Do you think it's going to be the defensive line, or do you think it's going to be the lack of a number 2 receiver?
You know what, Ryan? That's a good question. I think both. They're going into this with Roman Wilson as their number 2 receiver. I mean, come on, this guy's a draft pick. I get it. He's a draft pick and all. They better have some good tight ends, Ryan, that can run the foot or can catch. Because I'm going to tell you what, this receiving core, I don't know. You know what I mean?
You take the 3.
I have to sit there and look at it.
Scotty Miller, the other 2 guys, Quez Watkins, and one of the other guys,
Van Robinson.
Van Jefferson. Now, they've had these 3 guys. Deontay Johnson did not have a great season last year. He had 53 catches, 717 yards, give or take. In those 3 wide receivers combined last year aren't even anywhere near the numbers that Deontay Johnson put up in a season that he didn't perform very well. These guys that we brought in, with the exception of the draft pick Roman Wilson, I think they're garbage. I think every single one of these guys are garbage, and most of them probably are not even going to be on the team come opening weekend.
That could happen too, Ryan. And another thing here, I'll reiterate, maybe Omar Khan has something up his sleeve here because like you said, the wide receiving core, the defensive line is suspect this year, and it's going to be their Achilles heel unless, again, we have some miracle tight ends who can catch the ball, because I don't see our receivers doing too much. And something, Ryan, here, this Deontay Johnson trade might bite them in the butt, because if they don't go out and get a pretty decent wide receiver, look, T. Higgins is disgruntled down in Cincinnati. He wants out. I would go after T. Higgins. He wants out. He wants traded. Yeah. I don't know what they want to give up or they're willing to take. I know Devontae Adams down in at the Vegas Raiders there has had conversations with the Steelers, but they want a first-round pick, a third-round pick, a fifth-round pick, a sixth-round pick next year,
right.
And they want our fifth and sixth-round pick in 27 or 26.
Yeah, no.
So, that's too much.
Well, the good news is our quarterback has reportedly said that he has found the fountain of youth. He says he's rejuvenated, like, I guess, just health-wise, spiritually, emotionally. So I think he's really digging the city, at least.
Yeah, I hope that we can keep Russell Wilson for another year, but I don't see that happening. I think he's going to probably move on due to money, probably. This is Justin Fields' team as soon as he leaves, because I don't see Justin Fields as a backup unless, the Steelers have other issues. But you know what? There was a discussion today, like Brian said, with some other people whose names I'm not going to mention that need to hang it up because, they don't know how to talk sports like we do here. Anyway, they were saying today about how they made a mistake, the Steelers, and they did, and they have to admit they made a mistake about having a quarterback in waiting, after Ben retired. And they used the example of Jordan Love. Everybody laughed at the Packers about Jordan Love. Let me tell you something. Jordan Love is a good quarterback, better than what we have or what we have had. And the Steelers blew it on trying to get somebody in here after Roethlisberger with Kenny Pickett and everything else.
Ralph, I do want to switch gears here real quick because we do have less than 2 minutes. What are your thoughts on the Pirates, but more so Paul Skeens?
Oh, I love Paul Skeens to death. Do you know St. Louis had their best attendance since opening day because of Paul Skeens?
I didn't know that.
St. Louis Cardinals are thanking them. And you know what? Everybody stood up and gave him a standing ovation yesterday in St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, that's very classy.
Yes, it is classy, and I like Paul Skeens. I just wish the Pirates would have did something, like right now they're saying Bednar has finally got his mojo back. Well, Bednar should have been benched after spring training when he had that injury. They rushed him up, and then he was stinking up the joint. We're into June now. Do you know how many more games we could have won if he didn't stink the joint up? Okay? And, even if he stunk 5 or 6 games up, we could have had 5 or 6 more wins. Again, they should have put him in the minors, let him get well, let him bring him back up here, let him get in order, bring Paul Skeens up. They should have had him start the season, have him pitch as a closer until Bednar comes back, and then put Skeens as a starter. At least then you could have educated schemes on how it works in the major leagues, and then that way he could have got a major league education, and he still could have pitched 2 innings.
I thought.
See what I'm saying?
I thought for sure he was going to blow the game last night. He goes in the bottom of the ninth after the Pirates take a 2-0 lead in the ninth, and he gives up a home run. I thought, oh, come on, Bednar.
All right, I got a
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Ryan. He was not ready to start the season, and the Pirates blew it on this one.
I agree.
And their bullpen's been blowing it. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah. All right, Ralph, we're going to have to go to break here, so we're going to have to let you go. Thanks for giving us a call. That's Ralph Williams.
Thank you, Ralph.
A couple stats here right before we go to the
man.
break.
You have a good one, man. Thank you.
All right, you too.
Guys, have a great
David Bednar's ERA is 5.4. Aronis Chapman's is 4.13. Thank goodness Holderman is at point. That is 0.79. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back here talking a little bit more sports. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 and 1230 AM.
The warm weather is back, and that can only mean one thing. Pirates baseball for a 76th season is on Beaver County Radio. Make sure you set your radio dial to WBVP and 99.3 FM. Pirate baseball is being presented locally by the St. Barnabas Health System, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Keystone Wellness Program, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Town Square Restaurant, and Beaver County Radio.
Has your classic car or hot rod seen better days? Just call me, Dave Rodenbaugh, and my team at the Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company. The full-service hot rod shop offers it all. Everything from custom fabrication and restoration to regular maintenance and collision repair. With over 40 years of experience, there isn't a job too big or too small. The Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company's enclosed trailer service ensures safe transit for your ride during any season. The Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company is located at 6th Street in Beaver Falls. Visit pahotrod.com or call 412-719-4950.
Start your day with breakfast at McDonald's. Enjoy their 2 for $3 mix and match breakfast special. Whether you're on your way to work or on your way to school, McDonald's has the right breakfast for you. McDonald's breakfast. I'm loving it.
Hey, can you imagine trying to hit a fastball or throwing a runner out at home? It's hard to think of doing these things under perfect circumstances, let alone with the distraction and discomfort of dental issues. Regular dental care from Dr. C. Timothy Lip can improve your productivity, happiness, and focus, even if you're not in the big leagues. Dental problems affect more than just your teeth. Visit lipdentistry.com or Dr. C. Timothy Lip Family Dental Offices on College Hill and Robinson Township.
Whether it's Little League or the big leagues, it's time to get out and play ball. Friendly Federal Credit Union reminds you that every team looks forward to playing at home in front of a live crowd. Seeing loyal fans can help any player feel more comfortable. Just like a home game in baseball, Friendly Federal Credit Union always has friendly faces to help and cheer you on at the teller window. Now get out of that dugout and in front of your cheering section, the personal live tellers at Friendly Federal Credit Union.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
That disclaimer. Who is that chick, Ryan? The girl on this disclaimer.
Who is the girl on the disclaimer?
Who's the girl saying that my opinion is not part of this? It's clearly not. It's just one man's opinion. She's right. Yeah, none of the sponsors or the station here have anything to do with what I say. Welcome back, guys, to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. Make sure you check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. They do roofing, replacement windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior remodeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. There is a couple things going on in sports I did want to go over real quick, Ryan. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs finals are on.
Yes.
The Florida, what are they, the Predators? The
Panthers.
The Panthers. Who's the Predators? What
Nashville.
Nashville Predators. Okay. The Florida Panthers are playing the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes.
I Googled it. Okay. The Florida Panthers, not Predators, I don't know where I was going with that, are up 2-0. Their goaltending's been fantastic. McDavid hasn't really done anything yet. They are in Edmonton tomorrow at 8 o'clock. To drive there from this studio would take 1 day and 8 hours up in Alberta province.
Wow.
It's 2,077 miles from, I think I Googled it from like the police station here, the Brighton Township Police Station, I think is what I Googled it from. 1 day and 8 hours. Now, that's north and a lot west. Florida plays down outside of Fort Lauderdale and outside of Miami. They are directly south of here. From the Brighton Township Police Station, it is 17 hours and 34 minutes, 1,176 miles. These two teams couldn't be any further apart.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a surprise to me that Florida's even in this. I'm going to be honest with you, Brian. Last year they snuck in because we weren't good enough to win a game against a poor team. Florida gets in by default. They make it to the finals. They're back again this year. They're up 2-0 on Edmonton. They realistically could win the Stanley Cup, and again, they snuck in because we weren't good enough last year.
I love the Penguins, and I watch the Penguins, but I'm not really into the NHL as a whole, just a Penguins fan.
Yeah.
And so whenever they're not in, I don't really care. But here's two reasons why I want the Florida Panthers, not the Nashville Predators, who we beat them in 90 or 2017.
Yes.
Okay. So Florida, it's from the United States.
Yes.
Edmonton, Canada, bad. Don't like Canada. Sorry. So I'm going to root, not that I hate it, I just don't like it as much as the United States. So we're going to root for Florida because they are from the United States. And I think it's odd that a typically 80s and Sunday weather has a hockey team and they're going to win the finals probably, and this Canadian team that they're all hockey fans all year round. That's their number one sport. They're going to lose to the Florida team.
Well, there is a long way to go. I mean, it is.
Yeah. It's not
over yet. But two things that are connected to what you said. I don't recall, and if I'm making a mistake, I apologize. I think it's been quite some time since a Canadian hockey team had won the Stanley Cup. And the other part of this is the 5th year in a row that a Florida team represented the East in the Stanley Cup Finals. Tampa did it 3 years, and then Florida did it, the next 2. So to have Florida team be there 5 years in a row.
And then before that, it was Washington, and then Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the other reason why, and this is really the main reason why. It's not just blame Canada and I hate Canada, because that's not true, but sort of. And they're going to compare McDavid to the all-time greats, which Sidney Crosby is one of.
Yeah.
I don't want him to win a cup ever. Sorry, Connor McDavid. I just do not want you to be compared with Sidney Crosby. I'm sorry.
He has a long way to go, but you know
does.
what? This is about, he's a few seasons in. What's he in, four years now? I don't know for sure. But you remember Crosby, he came in, and there was about a 3 or 4 year window where it took them to get good enough to be in the Stanley Cup and win. And
we had to get Malkin over from Russia.
Right.
I think he was part of the Bob Griner trade.
Bob Griner. But the
what YouTube I watch, he calls Brittany Griner Bob Griner. I think it's hilarious. He also calls Joe Biden John Biden, and it's just hilarious. He always gives the wrong name.
Right.
It's great.
Right. That's
it's
actually
hilarious.
Funny.
Yes,
that
it's
is
very funny.
But he has the potential, and he's a very great hockey player. If you watch him, he's something.
He calls Whoopi Goldberg the whoopee cushion too.
Okay, but I think
So dumb.
it's just going to take time. He's not going to be he's not going to be a guy that just comes out of nowhere and wins. Of course, Ovechkin didn't do it. Crosby didn't do it. Mario Lemieux didn't do it. You figure he was drafted in 84. He didn't win his first cup until 90, 91. So I don't think that you're going to see him do great things like these guys are, like people are saying that he's going to. But I think at the end of his career, he is going to have a pretty great career.
You said it. Sidney Crosby and the baby Pens, they had a rough time at the beginning. And then in 2008, whenever they played the Red Wings, they really weren't supposed to go that far that fast. And so maybe this might be the same with the Oilers, where a couple years from now, they're a contender. Well, we'll see. That's 2-0. It goes back to Edmonton Thursday and Saturday. Also, there's NBA finals going on, and I like that the NBA and the NHL stay away from each other because they're all alternating nights. It gives me something to watch. Whenever I'm not watching Paul Skeens and his mustache. You know what? Nick Gonzalez's mustache is very nice too.
I know.
It's a really good one.
Yeah. This is really scaring me, Brian, because I'm getting vibes that the mustache is coming back. And all the things that came and went over the time, I was okay with the bell bottoms. I was fine with the Jenko jeans. I'm fine with. I don't know if I'm prepared for the mustache to come back.
When I leave here, I'm going to make a right, and I'm going to pass the state troopers.
Yeah. Right?
The Brighton Township state trooper station's right there, right before the local township police. And I would bet that quite a few of them have a Nick Gonzalez or Paul Skeens mustache as well. It seems to be like a state trooper thing.
Right.
All right. So tonight...
What's the series? What is it?
The series is basketball. They play basketball.
Is it 2-0 Boston?
It is 2-0 Boston. Boston blew out Dallas the first game, and they kind of basically had a solid lead for the entire second game, and Dallas made a little run there. Basically, here's what's happening. Everybody on the Celtics is playing above their ability, except for Jason Tatum. He's kind of playing down, but it's like a well-rounded team. They play defense. They hustle. They do turn the ball over a lot. But the Dallas Mavericks have two superstars, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. Kyrie has stunk. Absolutely stunk. Like when he played with LeBron in 2016 and they beat the Warriors, he was averaging like high 20s.
Yeah.
He's averaging like 14, and he's taking like 18 shots a game, and he's not even scoring any points. So Kyrie needs to show up. But here's the big problem with Dallas. They've added some guys, and they're solid on defense. But Luka Doncic is almost as slow as Caitlin Clark on defense. Literally the guy's first step, and he's by Luka every time. So that makes the defense collapse, and then there's somebody wide open for three. Yeah, so they do go back to Dallas tonight and Friday. So I guess Luka and Kyrie are just going to have to go off like they have all postseason on the offensive end and hopefully outscore the Celtics. Otherwise, it could be a quick one.
Well, let me ask you personally. Again, I need one man's opinion here. Who ultimately wins this thing when it's said and done?
I do not like the Boston Celtics, but they're going to win it, and I don't want that to happen.
I get. I want the Dallas Mavericks to win. There's quite a few reasons, actually, but I would like to see them win this series, but it seems to me the vibe that I'm getting is Boston is just going to win.
Okay, and this really bothers me because ESPN does a great Lakers-Celtics 30 for 30.
Yeah.
And they say on there that it was like a black and white thing. Like of course they make it into race, you know, and they're like, oh, every white person liked the Celtics and every black person liked the Lakers. And I'm like, I love the Lakers. I absolutely could not stand Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. And I was like, no, I like the Lakers, the Showtime Lakers.
Absolutely. How could you not like those Lakers teams?
I just felt like ESPN was lying to me there. Right. I'm like, no, that's not what was happening in the 80s.
Hey, if they drive the narrative, that's what people are going to believe.
Right. Yeah, well, I don't know. We got a couple minutes here before we have to wrap up. There is something I wanted to talk about, and maybe we can dive into this even more next week, because I thought today's show was going to be very negative. I had a negative vibe all week on sports in general. But I guess maybe it was because it's my niece's birthday. We're all positive today, pretty much, except for the Caitlin Clark nonsense.
Yeah.
The umpiring in Major League Baseball is driving me absolutely insane. We have the technology to get everything right, and consistently we're getting everything wrong. And it starts with the home plate umpire. Terrible. Balls are strikes, strikes are balls, multiple times and at bat. And they'll have some statistic that says they get it right 95% of No, that's a lie.
Right.
We could see the box. Whoever's fudging those numbers probably works for the government and does their accounting.
Absolutely. I think I got a suspicion that what's going on here, because I think the umpiring has been getting, it's been getting worse every year. I've noticed about 3 or 4 years ago that it was bad. It's gotten worse, and now it's just, like you said, it's almost become unwatchable. I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to work in the technology, because a lot of times in baseball, for the lack of a better term, the old heads, they don't like the game to change. They don't like the pitch clock. They don't like this. They don't like things that make the game better.
Right.
And I think that maybe they might be trying to work the technology into the game.
Okay. So, and I want to bring up a play specifically, because this wasn't at home plate, because the balls and strikes just drive me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
We're playing the Dodgers, and Falter's pitching. First inning, Mookie Betts gets on first.
Yeah.
Next guy up is Ohtani. He hits a line drive to right, shallow right field. The ball hits the ground, bounces 2 feet and into Olivares' glove. The first base umpire says out. So Betts goes back to first. Meanwhile, Olivares knows he didn't catch it. It's not like a trap. I mean, it was literally 2 feet in front of his glove.
Right.
He throws it from his knees to second base, which should be a force out at second. So it should be 1 out, man on first.
Yeah.
The umpires, Mike Tomlin didn't throw the challenge flag. The Dodgers manager challenged the play. They saw that it was a clear hit the ground. So instead of calling Mookie Betts out at second on the force out, they said because the umpire messed up, it's first and second and no outs. How do you have the replay and still get it wrong?
Yeah.
Just absolutely drove me nuts. And guess what the next pitch was?
What's that?
A 3-run homer.
Imagine that.
A 3-run homer. Well, I had a great time today, Ryan.
Yes, great show.
Everybody check out the Two Dumb Yinzers on YouTube. It's excellent. Ryan does a great job along with Mike and Derpy. All right, everyone. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM. We will see you back here in 167 hours.
You've been listening to One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale on Beaver County Radio. Don't forget, you can watch the show on WBVP-WMBA Facebook page anytime. Tune in next Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale on Beaver County Radio.